Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, September 25th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat. Right here, we have the Colorado Rockies versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Thursday, everyone. And on the left for the Rockies, Tyler Freeman. And on the right, center fielder stud, Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the Colorado Rockies. Leading off for the Rockies in right field, Mickey Moniak. Batting second, DHing for Colorado, Hunter Goodman. Batting third, playing first base, Blaine Krim. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Jordan Beck. Batting fifth, playing shortstop for the Rockies, Ezekiel Tovar. Batting sixth, playing center field, Brenton Doyle. Batting seventh, playing third base, Kyle Karros. Batting eighth, catching today for Colorado, Braxton Fulford. And batting ninth, playing second base, Ryan Ritter. And on the mound with a 2-5 record, an ERA of 9.16, it is Bradley Blaylock. And now let's get into the starting lineup for your American League West champion Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Multi-homer game last night to get him to 60. And obviously with 4 games to go, the real goal is to get to 63. I know that's going to be tough. He'll probably have to multi-homer again at least once. But again, if anyone can beat Aaron Judge's record of 62 home runs in 2022, it's this guy right here, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting sixth, playing third base, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And batting ninth, welcome to the lineup, second baseman today, Leo Rivas. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 4-5 record, an ERA of 5.13. We moved him from the bullpen to start today to fill in for Brian Wu. It is Emerson Hancock. Let's go, M. And we're going to be shooting for the same results, and we'll go goal to goal. We'll be shooting for 100 likes to start off, 100 on the Dono train. And then 5 to 15 subs. And then once we hit that, we'll go to 200 likes, 300 likes, 100 to 200. And once we hit 5 to 15 subs, we'll go from 15 to 30 and then 30 to 50. Tridents up. Let's go M's. All day in the building. Let's get the sweep, baby. We want the bye. And again, we win today. We get the bye. And, we want to finish as one of the top 2 seeds to give individuals like Brian Wu a little bit more rest. And again, very exciting not only to make the playoffs and have baseball in October 2 days ago, not only to get in, but now to be AL West champs for the first time since 2001, Ichiro's rookie year. 24 years in the making. And again, like Cal said, why not go all the fucking way? And again, playoffs are great. But again, we had a team in 2001 where I looked at their roster top to bottom this morning compared to what we have today. This team is better, and it's quite a bit better top to bottom. Not only the guys that we have in the farm, but pitching staff, bullpen, and hitters top to bottom. First pitch to Mickey Moniak. That one's fouled off. 0-1 count. And we just have to hope that Emerson doesn't give up more than 5 runs. And if he does, hopefully we score 6 to 10 to kind of make up for the difference. 0-1 pitch and a line drive there. Not a good start. Hit there to Randy Arosarena in left field. And again, M did not look very good when we transitioned him into the pen. So don't be surprised if he ends up giving up 4 or 5 runs. His ERA, going in after being moved to the pen is 5.13. So if that's the case at 5.13, then we're probably going to have to score 6 to 10 tonight unless he can calm down at some point within the matchup. Next up is Hunter Goodman. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. So we're going to need, pop-ups, ground outs, double plays, and we're going to have the defense step up, and then the offensive bats are going to have to put it into high gear a little bit more than what we did in Game 1 and Game 2, just knowing that we have a pitcher that I would have rather gone to Logan Evans in AAA than gone to Emerson Hancock, but they didn't want to make a roster change. You could have brought somebody down for one game, like Cole Young if he wasn't going to play, and then, or Mitch Garver, or Harry Ford, and then just brought up Evans for one game. But, they feel confident that they can win this game with Hancock, and hopefully the offense will be able to do their job, because if the offense doesn't get rolling, it's going to be a very close or tough game, towards the end of the matchup. Pitch is low and away. 2-1 pitch popped up, and that one is fouled off into right field. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hunter Goodman. Just another Phil with a $5 holla. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. And I imagine everyone strutted into work a little bit with more swagger and confidence. Appreciate you. Stacks, racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. And that one is popped up. Julio Rodriguez is there. Falls off Dominic Canzone. And that is 1 away. And that's what we exactly need. We're going to need the defense to communicate out there, and we're going to need our best players to step up and make some plays for Emerson Hancock. Nice job. Down goes Hunter Goodman. Next up, first baseman Blaine Krim. Tyler in the building. What's good? All day in the building. Kick Shack in the building. Help in the building. Again, I would have rather went with Logan Evans personally, even though he's been in AAA. I just have more confidence in him. And Logan Evans is amazing at home. He can't win on the road, but he was great at home. Emerson Hancock really wasn't good at home or on the road. So it's going to put more pressure on the defense and the offense to score 6 to 10 runs and to clear a few more double plays and, cheap outs, obviously throughout the matchup. John in the building. What's good? Reflect in the building. What's good? Tridents up. Yeah, I really hope so too. I would love for him to get to 63. With 4 games to go, if he multi-homers tonight or at least in one game in the Dodger series, it's a very good possibility that he gets there. Who knows? Maximum amount of home runs that he could probably get to is 65, but that would mean he would have to multi-homer twice in 4 games and then home run in 1 game and then in a single game, nothing. So we will see with 4 games left, if he can homer in 3 out of 4 and multi-homer, in a game once or twice, but we will see as Emerson Hancock gets the big swing and a miss on Blaine Krim on 3 pitches, and we'll take that, and that is 2 away. Don't expect a whole lot of Ks out of Emerson Hancock, and if we get, 8 to 10 Ks, obviously we know we're in great position at that point. Nice job, M. I don't expect a whole lot today, and hopefully you can keep wheeling and dealing. Next up is Jordan Beck. I live in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not some random fan. I've been a fan of this team for 40 years, so. Popped up into right field, and Dominic Canzone is there, and that is out number 3. Nice job by the Mariners there early. Only gave up a hit, to Mickey Moniak, the former Angel, and hopefully we'll be able to get in our bag here early and often and get the job done. Let's take a look to see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. And hopefully we can get Randy off to a fast start. He hasn't really been the greatest as a leadoff hitter after filling in for J.P. Crawford and Victor Robles. Very streaky. Hopefully we can get some good production here today. Let's go, Randy. Batting second, the best catcher in the game. 60 home runs, multi-homer game last night. He needs to get to 63 to break Judge's record. Can he homer today, once or twice? We sure as hell hope so. The big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, center fielder for the Mariners, having a great second half of the season like he always does, Julio Rodriguez. And again, another individual that is starting to heat up just at the right time. Hawks up 14-3 over the Cardinals, definitely in a very winnable game. Yeah, it's crazy. Not only the stadium and online sold out of all the shirts, the October shirts from 2 days ago of making the playoffs, and then obviously AL West champ shirts went immediately. So me and my best friend tried to get tickets, and he is a semi-season ticket holder where he'll get like a small package of games, right? And then you get access to the early drop of the playoff tickets, and then it goes to the general public. So they had one opening this morning at 9 a.m. and he had 2 screens up at his computer with fast internet, and all the tickets were gone within seconds. And then at the general public, he went with 2 screens again, and all the tickets were sold out instantly. And then obviously, as you go on the open market, if you want to be able to get standing room only, you're looking at $400 minimum. So again, it shows you that there definitely is a lot of rich bandwagon people that took up the spots of the regular OGs that would have loved to gone to the game. And now if you want to go, you're going to have to pay some crazy extra prices from the scalpers online or wherever you decide to get your tickets, which is kind of a shame, because there's a lot of OG fans that have been rooting for this team for a long time that would have been great for them to go. And now they're going to have to dish out a little bit more to do that. But I'll be obviously here. And if anything opens up, I may get a chance to go. But based on those kind of prices, a little bit steep for me. And I love the Mariners, but, at $400 a pop for the worst seat, I don't know about that. 0-2 pitch. And Randy pops up into right field. But we were a little shocked on how quickly they went. And when I'm saying seconds, they were gone. Like seconds. Like you log in, you get access, you choose the seat, you put in your info, boom, everything was gone. So, and I imagine there will be some deals at some point where maybe someone buys a ticket and ends up selling it a little bit cheaper, but still with profit because they decide that they'll stay home or, they got bills to pay. But a lot of tickets went very, very quickly early this morning. First pitch to Cal Raleigh. Cal going long, going deep, back all the way to the wall, and caught at the 380 sign. And we were thinking, wow, was Cal Raleigh really going to do it? Unbelievable. Just short, but that's a good sign at some point for Cal Raleigh. He may end up going yard at some point, especially if you're going to throw it right down the middle. And he got it right on the sweet spot. Misses a homer just barely. And that is 2 away. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Tight ends up. Let's go, J-Rod. First pitch in there. Takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. And Bradley Blaylock, 2-5 record with an ERA of 9.16. So we should be able to do some damage, you would assume. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And hopefully it'll end up being in a Seahawk and Mariner win here today. Obviously, the Cardinals had a pretty good record to start off the season, but it was a pretty easy schedule for a lot of the NFC West teams to see everyone 2-0. And then obviously the Hawks had to go to Pittsburgh to get to 1-1. And then things have gotten better since then. And Julio with a line drive, but great defense there. And that is out number 3. And again, whenever you're going to get a hard hit ball, if it's going to be towards Ezequiel Tovar, you better make sure that, it's a rope. And again, just like when we have JP and Leo Rivas, there's not going to be a whole lot that's going to get past them. Nice job by Ezequiel Tovar to get that line drive from Julio. That would have been a single. 3 up and 3 down. End of the first inning, 0-0 Rockies and Mariners. And we're obviously looking for the win today so we can end up getting the bye. And we want to have the bye with the Toronto Blue Jays at the top if that's what is going to happen. But again, you have to pay attention very closely, with what's going on with the Blue Jays and the Yankees and the Red Sox. Obviously, we feel the Astros are kind of working their way out. And obviously the Guardians and the Tigers, obviously something to kind of keep an eye on as well. And as far as the National League is concerned, we obviously know that the Phillies are great, right? The Brewers are amazing. The Cubs have had a great year. The Dodgers and Padres can get hot at any time. And then who wants it in that last spot? Is it the Mets? Is it the Reds? Is it the Diamondbacks? I don't really know, but again, someone's going to make it there in the National League for that last spot within these last 4 games. Next up for the Rockies, in the 5-hole, shortstop Ezequiel Tovar, who made that great catch against Julio in the previous inning. Batting second, center fielder in the 6-hole, Brenton Doyle. And batting third baseman, Eric Karros' son from the Dodgers, Kyle Karros. You're getting a little bit older when you're starting to see the sons of the players you watched when you were a kid. First pitch from Emerson Hancock. Tovar takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 54, let's get to a hundo. Let's get it, baby. Mike in the building, what's good? Ooh, Cal and Julio to get a hit. I first when I thought I saw a homer, and I was going to say, wow, Julio and Cal the homer, they could do it, but that would be hard. But just to get a hit, there's a good possibility both guys get a hit for sure. Takes a strike swinging right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Ezequiel Tovar. Big swing and a miss. There we go, baby. We like that. Nice job. And again, we don't really know what we're going to be getting out of Emerson Hancock today, but any K that we can get, any easy out, any double play, any pop-up, any ground out, we're going to take it, especially when this is a guy that is normally a pen rotational guy that doesn't even play every day either. And he hasn't really been very good since he's been transitioned into the pen. So hopefully he gives up, 3 runs or less. There's a good possibility he could give up 4 or 5, and we just have to hope the bats can match if that's the case. Big swing and a miss on a 1-0 count. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Doyle. Oh, no worries, TJ. Enjoy the game. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Doyle. Top of the second inning, 0-0 Rockies and Mariners. Well, Cal just ended up being up in the previous inning, so you're going to have to wait a couple innings unless the Mariners go crazy in the bottom of the second, and then he may get a chance to get up there, but you'll probably have to wait a little bit before Cal gets up again. Let's go, baby. 2-2 pitch, and that one is fouled off towards third base. Sinker, 96 miles an hour by Emerson Hancock. And it's never really been about the speed or the velocity with Emerson Hancock. It's really the location and being able to have the confidence and the swagger, to get the job done. And we know like Logan Evans is a guy that filled in, and I don't know if it's just the goggles or his overall swagger or aura, but it just feels like when Logan Evans is out there, you felt a little bit more confident than you did with Emerson Hancock. And, Emerson, was a former first-round pick, from Georgia, but really hasn't panned out compared to a lot of the other draft picks we've had in recent memory, especially from the pitching staff. Little tip there, foul tip on the foul ball there by Brenton Doyle. Top of the second inning, 0-0 Rockies and Mariners. AR in the building, what's good? We clinched the 2 by Detroit losing. I know that if we won, that we were going to have a good position there, so. 3-2 pitch. Little slow dribbler. And yeah, if there's anything that they're showing at the stadium or they talk about, obviously on the broadcast, and if anyone else is watching any of the other games, Seahawks, if they want to do updates with that, feel free in the chat. And then obviously anything that has to do with any of the American League teams winning or losing that would help us or hurt us, feel free to comment on that as well. Next up is Kyle Karros. First pitch to Karros, in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Appreciate you, TJ. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Karros. Make sure you're enjoying the environment as well. I mean, I really love the dedication and love and support of trying to be able to watch the game and then kind of follow along with me as well. But, you can always turn me off if you're at the game and settle in, enjoy your friends, your family, the atmosphere, soak it all in. And again, if you want to tap in here and there in between innings, I think that would probably be better for you. You want to make sure you're getting your money's worth there. And of course, I love being able to have support, but you're always going to be here. You're not always going to be there at the game. So enjoy yourself while you're there. 1-2 pitch. And there's strike 3 right down the middle. Hancock looking pretty good so far. But again, if you feel like you can multitask and, watch the game as well as, hop in here and there with some comments and support, do you. If you feel that you can do it, again, I really do appreciate the generosity and the support. And again, nice inning there by Emerson Hancock. And again, not to be down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0 at this moment feels good because, lately when Hancock went to the pen, he wasn't very good. So, I was kind of leaning more, dropping a player down for one game, like a Cole Young, or bring up Logan Evans for just one game, have him pitch, send him back down. But they thought, hey, we'll just keep, the roster the same, and this will pluck M from the bullpen and see how he does. And so far, so good. And let's see if we can get on the board here in the bottom of the second inning. Leading off is first baseman. It's Nails, Josh Naylor. Signed this man already. He is incredible. Batting second, DHing for the Mariners today, Jorge Polanco. And batting third baseman, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. I think Sam was very effective when he was on Minnesota because they had a great offensive line, great defense, a great supporting cast, and that's why they were able to win so many games. But you have to realize, coming into Seattle, things are a little bit different. Obviously, with Kubiak and the offensive play calling, it's given them a little bit of juice and a little bit of energy compared to maybe the last few years, based off the play calling on offense. Obviously, no DK, no Lockett. You have some pieces that are no longer there, but you got guys like JSN who have already emerged that can be the one and can be the standout guy. And really for them to be successful, is the offensive line and the defense, but primarily also running the ball and not going away from that. So that way Sam doesn't have to, throw it as much and put himself in a bad position to throw in double coverage. And, as long as they're able to keep the balanced offense, they should be able to be in the mix for the division with the Rams. And if not winning it, maybe having a chance at a wild card and getting close to 10 wins. So we'll see where it goes with them. But they should be able to win today against the Cardinals, no doubt about that. First pitch to Naylor, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. And we are at 5:95 to go on the Dono goal. Pitchcom issue there for the catcher. Braxton Fultz getting a chance to catch for the first time in the series, so looks like he's having some issues with the pitchcom. Oh, 1 pitch. And Naylor popped that one up, and that one fades behind the plate, foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. And I do appreciate every single, one of y'all, whether you be a, new sub to the channel or new watcher or someone that's been with me for many, many years. It's been a very special year. And to be able to be, not only playing baseball in October, momentarily, but to be able to win the AL West for the first time since 2001, Ichiro's rookie year. It's been 24 years. It's been very, very special. And I know it's going to be able to continue to be a special time for a lot of us here in 2025. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1-2 pitch, and Naylor gets a nice base hit into right field. There we go. We love seeing that. Nice job by Josh Naylor. A guy that's batting over 350 at home, and we haven't really ever had a guy that's been like a free agent or someone that we picked up at the deadline that has been this quality. Offense, defense, stealing bags, doing everything that we need him, and obviously going above and beyond. Great job by the big grumper. Great job by Nails. Great job by Josh Naylor. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. You were able to go yard yesterday. Let's see if Polo's got any magic here today. Cody in the building. What's good? 17-3. And that's not surprising. Definitely a game, regardless if they were at home or on the road, should win. That one is fouled off. 0-1 count. And I know a lot of you guys probably ended up seeing the video of the older grandpa, older gentleman that Cal Raleigh's home run number 60 ball and gave it away to a kid, which is cool and it's very thoughtful. But the only thing that I worry about as I talk to Reflect about that, as that pitch goes low and into the knees and into the dirt, that little kid and dad, depending on how rich they are, they could have sold that ball, for 50 to 100,000, even at home run number 60. And he's probably going to hit more than just that ball. So, when you end up getting a ball that's that significant, obviously you probably should keep it, either for just, your own safekeeping, or if you, feel like you want to sell it and, donate proceeds to charity or just being able to live, if you need a down payment for a house or someone is ill in your family, then you have the extra funds. But, to give it away, again, obviously it was a great, kind gesture. I hope that kid and that dad keep that ball in their personal collection. Little slow dribbler there, double play, and Polo is safe at first. Because it would be kind of crappy for that guy to give the ball away to the kid and the dad, and then all of a sudden in a couple days you see it on like a gold auction going for 100,000. But again, sometimes things like that end up happening. But hopefully that kid will keep that ball. And again, there's a lot of value in a lot of these balls. And again, if Cal ends up breaking the Aaron Judge record, that 63 home run ball is rumored to be worth, probably, $1 million to $2.5 million. So again, you're probably not giving that ball away to anybody, kid or anybody else, if you end up grabbing that one. Because again, there's going to be some high bidders, Mariner fans, Cal Raleigh fans, and MLB historians that would love to add that to their collection. Next up is Eugenio Suarez. Throw to first. Polo is safe. But it's much better knowing that we have fans that will do the right thing or do the honorable thing, the kindness out of their heart, instead of being like Philly's Karen and walking over to a dad and trying to get a ball that wasn't even hers. So, we don't really have fans like that. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. We got 240 in the room. Let them know, Six Face. I mean, we hit back-to-back 10,000 views, and Gino crushes it into left field, and it is gone off the double-decker wall. Incredible. And that's 49 home runs. 1 more for Gino for 50. Unbelievable. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And just as you say, hey, maybe he needs a little bit more support, Gino says, hey, I'll do something for you. Great job, Eugenio Suarez. 2-0 Mariners. Let's go, baby. Nice job, Gino. And again, 1 homer away from 50, ties his career high. 325th home run of his career. Great job, Gino. You may not be on our team next year, with Garv and, Luis Castillo and a few others, but we're definitely really enjoying you starting to heat up at the right time. After going 0-32 in 8 games, you went 4 for 4. You started hitting a few home runs that we predicted here on the channel, and now it's starting to look pretty good here for Gino. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a blank check for Gino because he's too old. And again, if you had to choose between Gino and Naylor, there's no question it's Naylor. So again, this will more than likely be the last year that Gino is on the team. I mean, unless he's willing to take an incredible discount. But at this stage of his career, highly unlikely. He'll probably want to get paid because this will be his last, big contract before he probably retires. So 1-2 pitch, and Canton strikes out swinging, and that is 2 away. But again, if you have to, decide between one or the other, it's very clear. Again, Gino can give you the home runs, but he strikes out a lot. And his defense obviously isn't as good as Naylor's either. We got a guy in Ben Williamson that will probably never hit 49 or 50 home runs, but is a better defender. And if he can just polish his game and then at some point maybe turn into a guy that can hit, 10 to 20 home runs, then we have a replacement there, for Gino. And then they'll probably be looking at other third basemen in the farm or in free agency to challenge Ben if we do let Gino walk, which is a very likely scenario. It would be much better to have Naylor. And that one drops in foul territory. Unbelievable. And they got Mitch Garver hitting, which is unusual. And I wonder if they're going to be kind of plugging in a lot of the backups early in this game. Could we get Harry Ford, in this game? Obviously, if you got Mitch Garver in right now, which wasn't in the starting lineup, and maybe Cole Young. So there might be a few guys that normally don't play. We did get Leo Rivas in the lineup. Pitches low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Blaylock to Garver. It looks like Garver's taking J.P. Crawford's spot at shortstop in the 8th hole. So we'll see how this plays out unless they decided to move Rivas. 1-2 pitch and a slow dribbler towards third, and it hits the bag, and it's fair. Wow, big mistake there. And again, when you're playing defense and you're at third base, you got to make sure you know what you're doing. And again, when that starts coming towards you, you have to make that decision to either grab it or not. And Kyle Karros, was banking on going at foul, and it hits the bag and stays fair. Great job there by Mitch Garver. It looks like Mitch Garver was coming in for Dominic Canzone. So interesting to see how they're doing this lineup and if Rivas is still going to be involved. Next up is JP. So JP is still involved. Let me look to see what they're doing here. So they're going to go Randy, Cal, Julio, Naylor, Polo, Gino, Canzone, Garver, Crawford, and they took Leo out of the lineup. Okay, interesting, because they didn't mention that until right now. So no Leo Rivas. I was wondering what they were doing, and that's a little unfortunate. I was hoping that we would get Leo, but All right, so let me see here. So we got Garver in the 8, and then let me move JP to the 9. Because I was about to say, what about my boy Leo? I was actually kind of happy that he was going to get a chance to play today. I think he's a better second baseman than Polo. Obviously, defensively, 100%. Sarah in the building, what's good? But obviously, offensively, Polo's going to typically, get the singles and doubles, maybe at a little bit higher of a volume. But Leo can still get, singles, doubles, ground rule doubles, home runs. He can steal bags. He's a good all-around player, and I'm a little sad that we're not going to see Rivas in the starting lineup, but maybe we'll see him pinch hit or pinch run later in the matchup. 2-0 Mariners with a big 2-run blast by Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. 0-2 pitch after he bunts foul, goes inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Oh, the Boo Birds are out in Arizona. Oh, things might be getting very bad over there. But again, it feels like Seattle will be the team that challenges the Rams for the top spot, as the season progresses. Niners are beat up, and at some point, those injuries will finally catch up to them, and they'll start sliding. And the Cardinals are always traditionally bad, even though they've started off to a good start to the season. I don't think anyone anticipated 3 teams being 2-0 and the Hawks 1-1. But once they got that victory in Pittsburgh, things have kind of started to change for the better. Pitches low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 3-2 pitch. And JP, a little line drive right up the middle. Throw to first. And that is out number 3, but not after we end up getting a big 2-run jack from Eugenio Suarez. And again, a lot of us, are going to be very critical of players when they go in a slump, or they are not doing up to their potential. With Gino, obviously, when we got him at the deadline, it was all nailer. And Gino, where were you? But then we said eventually Gino will get hot, and once he gets hot, it'll really help us in times of need. And he has really stepped up as of late, which is nice. Still not going to be as consistent as a Josh Naylor, but it's kind of nice that we have both of them, and they both played together in Arizona, so they have a good chemistry together from third to first. And again, that's always a good sign to see early in a matchup, especially when you got Emerson Hancock filling in for Brian Wu with an ERA of 5.13 with a 4-5 record. Nice job, Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Seize the moment. Next up in the top of the 3rd inning, catcher Braxton Fulford. Batting second in the 9-hole, second baseman Ryan Ritter. And batting third, 1-for-1 right fielder Mickey Moniak. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Jay Mills with the 10er. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $10 holla. Thank you so much for your support. Another 10 on the Dono train. Eight more likes to 100. We got 243 in the room, and we hit 10,000 views in back-to-back streams. So very exciting to be able to see the growth in the channel. Megan with a tour. Hope you're enjoying your trip there. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $2 holla. Enjoy yourself out there. We appreciate you. Yeah, we do believe Wu will be ready for October. They're just making sure that Peck is going to be, in good shape at this point. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike, looking right down the middle to Fulford. No balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the 3rd. 2-0 Mariners after a Gino 2-run blast. Yeah, and again, we'll see how it goes, and it really depends on what type of hits are we getting. Are we just getting singles that don't lead to anything, or do we actually get big RBIs and home runs that will impact the stat page and obviously the final score? Megan with another 5er. Oh, nice. Stacks. Rex with another Cactus Jack. $5 holla. Enjoy Bob Gale, and I hope that you have a fantastic trip. Seahawks doing well. So obviously you have that going for you as a big Seahawk fan as well, Megan. So should be a very good day. Next up is Ritter in the box. Takes a strike looking with the sweeper by Emerson Hancock. 0-1 count. Yeah, he's not on the IL, Brian Wu. And again, this is just all kind of precautionary. And, you don't want to rush him out there. And then all of a sudden he re-aggravates it and then he's out for the year. And that could really jeopardize our potential deep run, from the ALDS, ALCS, and the World Series. So, if that means that we need to have Wu just rested, and if we get the bye to get him a little bit more rest, that's going to be very ideal as we're going on our, World Series push. 2-1 pitch, and that one's got hit above and in front of Julio Rodriguez, and a nice hit there by Ritter with a single to center field. Nice little blooper there by Ryan Ritter over the second baseman's head, and then into Julio's glove. Let's go, baby. Next up, the former Angel right fielder, Mickey Moniak. And we have a runner at first with one out. Let's see if we can get a slow dribbler to JP and a throw to Naylor, and we get out of this inning. See if we can get a double play on Mickey. First pitch is fouled off. Into left field, 0-1 count. No, I don't think that we're going to be resting starters for the Dodger game. I think we're going to be playing, a strong lineup. We're going to be going with George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, and Bryce Miller. So we're going to have great lineups. We're going to try to, sweep them or at least win 2 out of 3. And it's all going to be for, jockeying for position on, if we're going to be the 1 seed or the 2 seed or however it ends up playing out. Obviously we want to buy, and we'll see how that all kind of plays out. But they're definitely not going to have weak lineups against the Dodgers. They're going to try their best to, see if they can maximize the most amount of wins, which would be 93 if we win the next 4 games, which is kind of wild because we were kind of thinking maybe 88 to 90 was kind of what most people were thinking, as the beginning of the year started. But there was hopes that maybe we could get to the 91 to 95 range, but that was only going to happen if, everyone was into, clicking on all cylinders early and often, not only in the first half of the season, but the second half. And obviously we had that 9 consecutive series win streak going, which was great at the beginning of the year. And then we kind of hit a wall, at one point or another a few times, especially on the road and with rain delays. But obviously in that Atlanta Braves series was really the changing point, after dropping the first game and then winning the last 2 and winning the series. And scoring, 28 runs, 31 hits, and 10 home runs in those 2 games. Again, when you have significant stats like that, that was the springboard kind of moment for Julio with his 2 home runs, and then everyone else started really picking up the slack. 3-2 pitch, incoming to Moniak. And Mickey hits it deep into center field. Julio at the wall. Wow. And thank God Julio doesn't miss that, because that would have scored at least 1. And again, you have to be incredibly happy, even though he has slow starts and we complain about him, chasing pitches and being off balance in his swings and, just not being the greatest hitter in the first half of the season. But in the second half, there is nobody playing center field better offensively or defensively in a second half of a season than Julio Rodriguez. And if he can just put it together in the first half and the second half, who's to say that he can't have 40-40 or a 50-50 season, before his career is done? 40 home runs and 40 stolen bags is definitely doable. And then if he can get really hot in the first and the second half, who knows, maybe 50-50 could happen to him maybe once, before, his illustrious career is over. And if we're incredibly lucky, maybe even twice. But again, he kind of seems like he is a 25 to 35 home run kind of guy. But if he gets going early in the first half, then he can go from 35 to 50, and that could really help us, obviously, moving forward. All day says we're at 101. Let's go, baby. See if we can get to 200 now. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and his hat flies off, and we love that. Goodman, see you later, and that's their best hitter. And again, Emerson Hancock has been impressive. This has been much, much better than what we've seen from him in the pen since we moved him there. Great job bringing in that electricity early and often. Giving up a few hits here and there, but nobody's coming home just yet. So awesome job. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the top of the third inning. Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 1 left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. We need you to set the tone at some point or another. You're definitely overdue for a home run. Let's go, Randy. Singles, doubles, triples, home runs. Let's go, Randy. Batting second, 0 for 1, who almost hit a home run in his first at-bat. Could we get home run number 61 here? I sure as hell hope so. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. He's at 60 home runs. He needs 2 to tie Aaron Judge for the record in 2022 of 62. If he hits 3 in 4 games, he'll be number 1 at 63 home runs. Let's go, Cal. And batting third, 0 for 1, center fielder stud, Julio Rodriguez. And Julio has been definitely heating up behind the plate and defensively in center field as well. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Seize the moment. Lance says 14-3, and that's kind of what was expected, I feel. I didn't really think that the Cardinals were going to do a whole lot today, and obviously we know Northwest teams are going to do better at home, just like any other team, in the Midwest or in the East Coast or the South. But again, the Cardinals, not very good. And they started off 2-0, but they're kind of pretenders. Same thing with the Niners, started off 3-0, but I do believe that they will start hitting a wall with all the injuries to Purdy and Kittle and everybody else, and they lost Bosa for the year. And then I feel like the Hawks and the Rams are going to be the two contenders in the NFC West. And, one team will win the division, and then the other team will get in with a wild card more than likely. And obviously you have the Packers and the Lions that are going to be battling it out in the same scenario. And then obviously you have the Eagles and the Bucks, obviously in their divisions. And then, again, we'll find out if there will be another team in the South. People thought it would be Atlanta. They got smoked 30-0 by the Panthers, so maybe it's not Atlanta. And then we assume the Commanders, once Jaden Daniels gets healthy, they might be one of those teams in the mix for a wild card spot as well. And Randy hits it in the gap, but good defense there by the center fielder catching up to that ball, and that is 1 away. Nice job by Brenton Doyle with that defense. All right, here we go. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Everyone's standing. I assume there'll be a lot of MVP chants, and hopefully we can get home run number 61 and 62. But if we don't get 2 today, since he hit 2 yesterday, hopefully we get at least 1 today, so that way that he'll be able to be in reach of getting to Aaron Judge's record, with also 3 games at home starting tomorrow against the Dodgers, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Very exciting. First pitch is low and out the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, crushes it into right field with a laser, but that is foul. 1 ball and 1 strike from Blaylock to big dumper. And Bradley Blaylock, 2-5 record with an ERA of 9.16. So it's safe to assume if Cal can get a pitch right down the middle, it could end up being home run number 61. Let's make some history. Let him know, TJ. And again, we did hit over 10,000 people in back-to-back streams. Obviously, the first day, we ended up, clinching a playoff berth. Baseball in October is always great. And then yesterday, we ended up winning the AL West. So, again, first time since 2001. Feels good to be a Mariner fan, let me tell you. 2-1 pitch, pitches inside, almost hits big dumper in the hips. And he has to crouch away from potentially being hit by that ball. 3 balls and 1 strike from Blaylock to Big Dumper. I appreciate you. And again, well, we are going to be able to see numbers increase the farther that we go as well. Little slow dribbler, throw to first, and that is 2 away. And, it'll be exciting as we move forward, getting to a point where everything is 5,000 and up. And then at some point, things getting to the point where they're 10,000 and up. And again, we should be able to make some great ground, not only this year, next year, but every year moving forward. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. First pitch to Julio, takes a strike looking low and away. 0-1 count. Shea Butter, no problem. Appreciate you. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. One pitch. Julio fouls that behind the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. So obviously I'm a huge, Duck fan, and obviously we have Ducks in Penn State. But again, I'm going to do the Dodger and Mariner games instead. So again, we'll be doing all the Mariner games the rest of the way, regardless on what amazing, college football matchup or NFL matchup there may be. Mariners are, the team that have got us to this point, on the channel. So we are going to stay loyal and dedicated to them. And again, the only reason that I would miss a game during the regular season, maybe once a month, was to do a WWE PLE. But since they've merged with ESPN and forcing people to pay $30 a month, I will not do that. So again, as we go into next year, we'll probably do every game. There probably won't be any games that we miss. And really, we were only missing 1 a month just for a WWE PLE, and that was it. So unless they were on at different times, but a lot of times they overlapped, like WrestleMania or SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, for example. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 2-2 pitch. That one is fouled out. And right into the netting there by Mickey Moniak. And thankfully, the fans in the front row and the netting, obviously that was a close call with a potential collision. I'm glad that ball dropped right out of Mickey's glove. And we'll take that. Let's see if Julio can make up for that. I mean, I love my Buccaneers. I love the Ducks. I love watching the Huskies. And there's going to be some college football games that we will do, whether it be Ducks or Huskies on the channel. That was popped up by Julio. Should be a routine play here for the Rockies. And there it is. And that is out number 3. But again, at this point, with the magic that we were getting with the Seattle Mariners, I love the Blazers. I love the Kraken. Love the Bucks. Love the Ducks. Like and enjoy watching the Huskies and a lot of other college football teams, but the Mariners are going to be the priority for the channel. And then again, once the Mariner season obviously transitions and baseball is over, then obviously we'll be focusing more on Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night games for the NFL, college football. And then obviously as those end, then we'll transition to a little bit of NBA, NHL, and NASCAR for about a month as we're going in from February to March. And then once we get into mid-March, you'll have some spring training games for the Mariners that we'll do. And then once we get into the beginning of April, it'll be Mariners all over again. So again, it's going to be busy and exciting. And we're definitely here for the World Series push. End of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Mariners. Let's see who's up next here for the Colorado Rockies. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we're looking for 5 to 15 subs. We needed only 11 subs to get to 22,200. Let's see where we're at right now. And it looks like we've gained 10. We need 1 sub to get to 22,200. Who will be the individual that gets us over? And that way we can go to our next goal of 22,300. Let's go. We're 1 sub away. 22,199. Can we get someone to sub right now? Looks like we just got 2. There we go. Thank you so much. 99 subs to go to 22,300. Shout out to the 15 new subs that we've acquired. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And then we gained a few more. 4 more right after I said that. And now we are 95 away from 22,300. Shout out to the 15 plus subs that we've got. Let's see if we can get 15 to 30 moving forward here the rest of the stream. First pitch from Emerson Hancock to Krim. Takes a strike looking inside. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Krim. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And Emerson Hancock is wheeling and dealing. This is the best that I've seen M since the beginning of the year when he was starting to kind of lock in for a couple starts. Nice job by Emerson Hancock. We love it. Nice job. I mean, we're getting pretty much Logan Evans type of results at home. So next up, left fielder in the cleanup spot, 0 for 1, Jordan Beck. First pitch fouled off with that sinker, 0-1 count. Appreciate you, John. I'm not an F1 fan, EK, but whenever something comes up on my timeline, I'll definitely pay attention. I'm more of a NASCAR, type of person. I'll do Cup Series, trucks, and Xfinity. We have done races of all 3 of those on the channel. And again, F1, we do have a couple fans on the channel that follow F1 pretty closely, like Megan and Cole, and they'll give me updates on what's going on in the F1 world, but I'm more of a NASCAR guy myself. Appreciate that, Cameron. Pitches low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Beck from Emerson Hancock. 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking on the corner. Wow. M is looking good. My goodness. Down goes Jordan Beck. And again, this is the best that we've seen M in quite some time. Way to bring that electricity, Emerson Hancock. And if he keeps pitching like this, he actually might get to a decent number in Ks before his time is up. Next up is Ezekiel Tovar. And first pitch to Tovar, grounded out to first, and that is out number 3. And that's exactly what we wanted. Josh Naylor flipping it to Hancock, and that toe tap on the bag is it for the Rockies. Let's get a little update here with M, as well as Bradley Blaylock. All right, let's take a quick look. What do we got here cooking for Emerson Hancock? I mean, we're not down 5-0, which is great. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and believe it or not, 7 Ks for Emerson Hancock. I mean, he's pitching like he's Brian Wu or George Kirby or Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo or Bryce Miller on a heater right now. 51 pitches, 39 strikes, and out of those 39, 7 of them have turned into a K. Wow. 4.90 ERA, so he's got his ERA below 5 now, but you couldn't have asked for a better fill-in guy besides maybe Logan Evans. And wow, incredible. Exactly what we were hoping for but not expecting. And then Bradley Blaylock, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs off the Geno, obviously 2-run blast, no walks. He's only got 1 K, and he's struggling. 50 pitches, 34 strikes with an ERA of 9. So things are going pretty well. We finally, got the big home run, to get off the donut on the scoreboard. And then on top of that, Emerson Hancock is, showing that, hey, if you give me a chance, maybe I'll be a little bit better of a starter than a guy in the pen. But again, we still, have other guys that we're a little bit more hopeful for, like Durangelo in the farm and Cade Anderson. But it's always good to see that you have depth in the pitching lineup. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 4th inning. Next up for the Mariners, it's the big grumper, Nails, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Batting second, DHing today, Jorge Polanco. Polo had a little bit of magic with the homer yesterday. We'll see what we get here today. And then batting third baseman, good vibes only. It is Eugenio Suarez, already with a 2-run jack. And the next homer he gets would be home run number 50, which would be kind of fitting. Obviously, if we can get one from him later in the matchup for a multi-homer game for Gino, and then maybe that'll rub off on Cal so he can get home run number 61 today. First pitch low and at the knees with the splitter by Blaylock, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. Yeah, he's definitely pitching like he wants to save his starting pitching career. I 100% agree. This is the best that we've seen Emerson look in a long time because, again, a few of those starts in the regular season towards the end before he got, pulled and then, switched up to the pen, it wasn't really that great. He's very hit or miss. And, again, when you have an ERA of 5, that really puts the pressure on the hitters to do more. And does Naylor get hit there? Let's look here. Okay, hit by pitch, but it got him on the jersey, but I guess that counts. Naylor to first. Let's see if Josh can swipe a bag. And next up, second baseman and DH stud, Jorge Polanco. And he's DHing here today. Let's see what we get out of Polo here. 2-run blast to make it 4-0 would be great. Throw to first to Nails. He's safe. First pitch is inside, 1-0 count. Polo in the box. Bradley Blaylock on the mound. 1-0 pitch, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, missing it by about 5 feet there. 2 balls and no strikes to Jorge Polanco. Bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Mariners. And obviously we're looking to try to get the bye. There was some information that was given out based on the Tigers and obviously how, the positioning has gone with them and the Guardians. And I'm not sure if we've already clinched the bye already, but again, if we win today, there's no doubt about it that we'll get one of those top 2 spots. And that's exactly what we need at this point. So. Two-one pitch, and Polo drops a bunt down right in front of the pitcher. Throw to first. Great hustle, but he is out, but moves Naylor over to second. Appreciate that, Stand with Ukraine. Yeah, we got back-to-back 10,000 views, which is great. And then, we've been definitely getting, in that 2,000 to 25,000 range, throughout the season. We don't get too many under 2,000 anymore, which is nice. And, hopefully we'll get to a point where we get 5,000 as the minimum. And then down the road, 10,000 is the minimum. And then we just keep growing slowly but surely. And obviously the deeper that the Mariners go, the more results that we're going to get. Since I am number 1 in views and in total metrics for the Mariners on YouTube. And again, the deeper the Mariners go year in and year out, the bigger the channel is going to get. So very exciting. First pitch to Gino, low and out the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, and Gino stays hot with a nice single into right field. And that's going to bring Josh Naylor to third base. And now we got runners at first and third with 1 out. Nice job, Gino. So we've already secured that based on what happened with the Tigers. So, but do we have a chance to get first, based on if we win the rest of the games? That's the question. Because if we win the rest, we'll get to 93 wins. Would that give us a chance to be able to, I guess you would have to have a meltdown by Toronto and whatnot. But, regardless if we're first or second, getting a bye is very key. Next up is Dominic Canzone. First pitch, fouled off. And that goes into left field. 0-1 count. And Dom has been great as our DH. And obviously has filled in right field for Victor once in a while. And hopefully we get something good out of Dominic Canzone. .303 average, 11 homers, 30 ribbies, and has been just immaculate. Has just been a great player filling in. And again, the only other player that I thought that would be worthy of filling in was Leo Rivas, who was in the starting lineup today, but then they pulled him before his at-bat. And they threw in Garver instead. I would rather see Rivas personally, but, I like rooting for the underdogs, guys that have been in the farm for 10 years with 3 different teams. And, Leo always, does something special when he gets a chance to play. Definitely a better defender than Polo at second, in my opinion. And, it is what it is. Little slow dribbler there by Dom. Force out at second, double play, and he's safe. And that brings home a run. Great job. And with Dominic Canzone's hustle, we end up getting an extra run that turns into 3-0. We'll see if that gets challenged. And then Naylor ends up, walking in with that big play. And again, that easily could have been a double play. Mariners get nothing. But again, showing you the Mariners are finding ways, to bunt, move guys over, and hustling at first. Randy, take note, because if you hustle at first, you never know if the attempt is going to be bobbled or the throw to first is going to be wild, or if your hustle is just fast enough to beat out, the tag or the out attempt at first. 3-0 Mariners. Nice job by Dominic Canzone. I love it. Next up is Mitch Garver. 0-1 pitch. Garver with a slow dribbler. Oh, look at that. An error. And we'll take that. And when Mitch Garver is getting on base, life is good. And just like when we were mentioning, you never know when someone might end up having a bobble or a wild throw to first. There you go. A play that could have possibly been done, and Garver ends up getting an infield single there, Canzone to second. And a little bit of a meltdown here for Bradley Blaylock. Next up is shortstop J.P. Crawford. And nothing would be sweeter here than J.P. hitting a 3-run blast and making... Oh, Leo Rivas is coming in now. All right, so now they're going to let Leo play. They're definitely wiggling and maneuvering this lineup. And now we get Leo to come in. I was hoping that we would get him to play. And maybe we can get Leo Rivas with something special here. Leo Rivas with a 3-run blast. Ground rule double. I mean, he's got a lot of power. I mean, he may look small in stature like Cole Young and J.P. Crawford, but again, he's got a lot more power in his swings than those guys. He's got more, big playability, game in and game out. If he were to have a chance to play as much as J.P. Crawford, I think that, the home runs would be kind of similar, but you might slightly get a little more if Leo was actually playing every day. And again, he can steal bags. He's a great defender. And I actually like it when him and JP are in the game together. I think they feed off each other, but we have so many players and, so little spots. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. And one of the best qualities about Leo, he's very patient. He's got great baseball IQ. He's a very well-rounded player, just like Josh Naylor and Julio Rodriguez and Cal, guys that can play great on both sides of the ball. We know Gino, Randy, and Polo are more offensive-oriented, not so much defense. But again, we have enough usually to cover up some of the weaknesses as that 2-0 pitch goes high and away. 3 balls and no strikes to Leo Rivas. 3-0 pitch, and that's a walk. And again, how many guys would be that patient to take a walk right there? Not many. And nice job by Leo Rivas coming in now. And now we got bases loaded, baby. I love that. Great to see Leo play. And again, as soon as I saw him announced in the starting lineup, I was like, yes, we finally get a chance to see him. And that might be the end of Blaylock. I mean, obviously, we know Randy isn't the most clutch leadoff hitter. I think Leo Rivas, J.P. Crawford, guys like that would be better for us, or even Victor Robles. But if they want to stick with Randy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it attitude, that's fine. But I just hope that Randy can get hot, in the Dodgers series in the playoffs. Because when you think of leadoff hitter, you think of guys like Ichiro, JP, Victor, and, for the most part, those guys were a little bit more consistent than Randy. Randy strikes out a lot. He pops up a lot. grounds out a lot, can't play defense in left field, and occasionally he'll get you a single and a double, and occasionally he'll get you 2 doubles in a game, and sometimes he'll get you a home run, but, definitely consistency is not, king for him. And, again, there's a few other guys I think that would be a little bit better, but again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I guess that, they're going to keep him, as the leadoff guy probably for the rest of the year, unless he gets hurt. And hopefully Randy can do some damage here. He's got 2 career grand slams. Last time he did it, April 9th against the Astros. So let's see if Randy can make up for his defensive woes in left field, and we can get a little bit of Mariner magic, some Soto mojo right here, and make it 7-0 Mariners, or at least an RBI single or double to make it 4 or 5-0. And there's a hit, yes, over the second baseman's head. That's going to bring in how many? That brings in 1, that brings in 2. Hell yeah, 5-0 Mariners. Thank you, Randy. And again, he's like, you know what? I do suck at defense, but again, I can come up with some good plays and RBIs once in a while. And it's been a minute since we've seen Randy get an RBI or a home run. Canzone and Garver scores. Rivas to third. Now we have runners at first and third with 2 outs. Thank you, Randy. I mean, again, we've been getting on you with your defense, and it's just nice for you to make up for it. Great job, Seattle. Let's go, baby. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Could we get home run number 61 right here and make it 8-0 Mariners in the 4th? Let's do it. Let's go. MVP. And we know Aaron Judge is worthy of the MVP as well. There's no doubt about that. There might be a co-MVP this year. Schwarber is hitting a massive amount of home runs, but it kind of looks like Ohtani, is going to get that award, even though Schwarber has been amazing this year. And again, Aaron Judge, just like Ohtani, can win it every year. But it's great to see Cal and Schwarber, show that, hey, there's other guys in this league that can play on a high level. 1-0 pitch. Cal pops it up. And that one is fading foul into left field. But again, more than likely, Ohtani is going to win the MVP in the National League outright. But there is a chance that we have co-MVPs this year. And again, the Yankee fan base and the Mariner fan base at that point would be happy. Obviously, if you can get a solo winner, then the other fan base and the other MLB fans will be disappointed, regardless if they give it to Cal or Judge. There's going to be haters in both situations. Throw to second, and Randy is safe. There we go. But the thing that makes me kind of wonder is that if you flip the stats, right, and Aaron Judge was leading in home runs and ribbies, and Cal was leading in all the other categories but had less home runs, right, would the voters still say Judge is better? They would, because then at that point they would say home runs is more important, even though they don't say that right now. They say, look at his average, look at his slugging, look at all of these. But again, Judge is an amazing player. There's no doubt about that. But if you flip their stats, the Yankee fans and the Judge fans would still say the same thing. Their argument wouldn't change. They would still say, our guy's better based off these stats, even if you flipped them. So, but if there was anyone that ever has deserved the award, this year, over a Judge or, or an Ohtani, it's definitely Cal Raleigh this year. I mean, he's a catcher, for crying out loud. Next up is Julio Rodriguez, and we got bases loaded here with 2 outs. But even when you go to MLB Network, and you listen to a lot of the analysts there, a lot of them are pro Judge still, based off the average and the slugging and, OPS and all of these other categories that he's ahead on. And again, when you're comparing a catcher to a guy that plays center field, right field, and DH, it's not really a fair comparison. It's like comparing, Allen Iverson to Shaq. It's like 2 different positions. They both are great at what they do, but again, it's not really fair to compare a point guard to a center. If you're comparing a shooting guard to a small forward, then there's, similarities there that you could do, or even power forward to small forward. But when you're comparing it to point guard center, that's kind of what it is, based on Cal being a catcher and Judge being a center fielder. Not really much anymore. It's more right field based off his injuries this year, and then DHing. And yeah, he's been intentionally walked a lot, and he's got great stats, and whatnot. But, if Cal gets to 63, regardless of what Judge does the rest of the way, that might be the final, okay, he deserves it now. Even if he gets to 62, that might be enough to say, you know what, he tied Judge. Maybe he does deserve the award by himself. But if he gets to 63, I mean, what are you going to say? You're going to say that, the record is 48 of all time in catchers. And if he gets to 63 and beats Judge and they still can't give him the award, then there's a lot of bias and whatnot. So, and obviously there's a lot of Yankee fans and Judge fans, and I appreciate Judge. I appreciate Ohtani. But again, it's like, how often are we going to have a year like this out of Cal Raleigh? Hopefully many years like this. But again, this might be the first of many elite years, but we want to make sure we're recognizing greatness, regardless if it's on the Mariners or the Yankees or the Dodgers. They got bases loaded with Julio Rodriguez. And I don't think JP got hurt. I think they just ended up giving, him an opportunity to sit and rest and getting Leo Rivas a chance to play. Because Rivas was supposed to play, and then they had Garver come in, and they rotated the lineup late. So we're up 5-0. I don't know if we're going to see Harry Ford or Cole Young, late in this game. I wouldn't mind that as long as we have a decent lead, just to get a little bit of playing time for some of our bench guys. First pitch is low and away as Molina comes in to fill in at pitcher. Julio, line drive, force out at second, and we leave bases loaded, stranded. But not after we end up getting that big RBI by Randy Arozarena, and now it's 5-0 Mariners. And I'm going to get an Anthony Molina photo who came in. I assume he'll be in there next inning. And let's go to the top of the fifth inning with a 5-0 lead. Life is good. Top of the fifth inning, leading off in the 6-hole, 0 for 1, center fielder Brenton Doyle. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, third baseman Kyle Karros, son of Eric Karros, formerly of the Dodgers. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher Braxton Fulford. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Seize the moment. Yeah, much easier to hit home runs there than it is in Seattle. Yeah, but Judge should be considered for MVP because you actually have to look at his numbers and if you actually watch him play. If you're not, you're a Mariner fan and you're anti-Judge, anti-Yankees, and you don't watch them, then it's easy to say something like that, kind of that hater mentality. But if you actually look at his numbers this year, he's having a record-breaking season that would normally end up winning him MVP, and he's doing it clean. He's not doing a McGuire, Sosa, Bonds where they're doing steroids. So we have to be, really thankful that we're in an era right now with Ohtani, Judge, as well as Schwarber and Cal Raleigh, where we got 4 guys that are doing things that these cheaters did years back that made the game fun to watch back then for McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa, and bringing more eyes to the sport. But now you got guys that are doing it clean. And when it's all said and done, Judge is going to be in that same level of like Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle. When it's all said and done, he's going to go down as probably, the greatest everyday player besides Shohei Ohtani, in this generation. And then obviously you got guys like Cal that will be the best catcher, hopefully, as long as he doesn't have any serious injuries. And he'll be in that mix of, being in the Hall of Fame as well, as long as there's no major injuries. But, Judge and Ohtani could play in any generation. And they're not just once in a decade kind of player. They're once in a generation kind of player. And Brenton Doyle flies out to center, and that is 1 away. Nice job by the no-fly zone with Julio Rodriguez. Next up is third baseman Kyle Karros. First pitch to Karros, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. I mean, you want to make sure that we're appreciating greatness, wherever it's at. Regardless if it's on our team or not, it's going to be for a limited time, and you want to make sure you're appreciating everything that you got. As Vargas is in the matchup now, filling in for Emerson Hancock beautifully. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Karros. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees, and hopefully we don't have a meltdown here by Vargas. Cole Young is at second base. Hell yeah. And again, great to see Cole Young get a chance to play, and maybe we'll even get Harry Ford at the very end of the game. One-two pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. 98 miles an hour, bringing that electricity, Carlos Vargas. And again, we've seen Vargas, blow, a few games, obviously recently, as well as Brash. You don't want to have your guy in the pen give up, 1, 2, 3, 4 runs. Luckily, we ended up having 6 in that game and still beat the Astros. But so far, so good here for Vargas. Next up is Braxton Fulford, little slow dribbler. Throw to first and safe. We may have to see a replay there. Good effort by Leo Rivas and company there, and Cole Young. They're just subbing people in, just to get them. We already clinched a bye, so at this point, we're obviously comfortable with this lead, and we're going to try to get some of these individuals that normally don't play anymore every day, like Leo Rivas and Cole Young, a chance to play, and we might actually get to see Harry Ford come in as a backup catcher at some point before the game is over, maybe late in the 8th or the 9th inning. So obviously too bad we don't have Ben Williamson on the roster. He would be someone exciting to be able to watch as he progresses in the farm. And again, we'll see if Gino can get to home run number 50 before this game is over as well. Woo's pec has been healing nicely. It's just been tight, and he's not on the IL, and they just want to make sure that he's fully rested, which is smart by the Mariner organization. There's no point on playing him today, and he won't play in the Dodger series either, since we're going to have Kirby, Gilbert, and Miller. And then once we go to the playoffs, based off the rotation, then he'll fit back into the regular rotation at that point. So Woo will be fine, and they're going to continue to monitor him. He actually played catch earlier today, obviously before the game started with some warm-ups. And again, they're just going to take it one day at a time. And a little slow dribbler there up to Julio Rodriguez. And a strong throw there into the infield to Leo Rivas. And now you got runners now at first and third with 2 outs, the first time that the Rockies have been threatening. Nice job there by Ryan Ritter. And again, when you got Carlos Vargas in, obviously the trust level isn't really very high. Now, Hancock, obviously hasn't been very good in the pen since we moved him there, but he was exciting and very, consistent today. Well, obviously not even giving up a run when he normally gives up 5 or more. Shocking. And he almost got to, 10 Ks. When you can get a pitcher that you don't really have faith in to get to 7 Ks, pretty beautiful. But let's see if Vargas can get us out of this jam here and keep the score 5-0. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Mickey Moniak. Yeah, and again, we're going to try to win all the games against the Dodgers so we can get to 93 wins. And we're going to try to be the number 1 seed if possible. But again, we already have the 2, but it really just depends if we can win the rest of the games, the rest of the way. Blue Jays have a meltdown, and then maybe we're the number 1 seed. But regardless, we have a bye, which is fantastic. And that's going to help Woo and the rest of the team settle in as we end up making this deep World Series push. 1-2 pitch with runners at first and third. And slow dribbler right there. Throw to first. And that is out number 3, and we leave them stranded. Great job, Mariners. Yeah, we play tomorrow. We play Friday, Saturday, Sunday at home versus the Dodgers. So same time, same place. Usually the games are going to be on at 6:30 to 7:10. Usually in that window. The games will be late, and then all three will be at home. I'm going to go get my pup a little snack here. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth inning, 5-0 Mariners. All right, next up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the fifth inning. 1-for-1 with a run. First baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Filling in for Jorge Polanco will be Cole Young. So let me get the Cole Young photo here. Cole Young filling in after Josh Naylor for Polo. And then batting third baseman with 49 home runs. Can he get home run number 50 here today? That would be the icing on the cake besides Cal homering, Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. Yeah, sometimes having too many days off can affect, a team. But remember, this isn't the college football playoff where you have like a month off and it, ruins your chances. We're just fine. And Josh Naylor hitting it into the gap again, which he's been famously known for now, and getting it back towards that Nintendo sign out there in the gap, and a big stand-up double by Josh Naylor. And again, we've never seen a player that we've signed in free agency or at the deadline being able to bat over 350 in Seattle. So for that simple fact alone, you better give this guy a blank check. And again, Mitch Garver, Luis Castillo, Eugenio Suarez, they probably won't be on the team next year. Give Gino the money. No. Give Naylor the money. And again, that's exactly what we need moving forward. Great job by Nails. Next up is Cole Young. Great to see Cole Young get a chance to play. Obviously, played a good chunk of the year after getting called up, but at least is still on the team. Not like Ben, but again, at some point they will be reunited. And Colt Emerson is in AAA now, and we'll see Colt make an appearance next year on the squad as well. And again, at some point or another, and when JP starts slowing down, Colt Emerson will be our new shortstop of the future. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. And Young with a slow dribbler there. Run, Cole. And Cole could have ran a little bit harder there to first and might have been safe, but he at least moves Naylor over to third, and that is 1 away. Yeah, and I think a lot of us, Victorian, we like Cole. We like Ben Williamson, and we're going to love Colt Emerson, Lazaro Montes in right field, Durangelo, who can pitch from the left side or the right side that's in the farm, Cade Anderson, that won a natty with LSU, our first-round draft pick, 3rd overall, is going to be a starter next year over Castillo, more than likely. So, again, we have a lot of amazing players, coming up from the farm. And then once we blend in the young guys with kind of the OG, the vets, then we're going to have that right balance. And again, we're doing something special this year, and we're building a brand that can sustain greatness long term. 1-0 pitch to Gino, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Eugenio Suarez. But we got quite a few guys that are lined up to take the jobs of some of the starters that are on the team now in the future, and also depending on their contract status, Gino, Garver, as well as Luis Castillo. There's a few guys that are kind of getting up there in age, and we are going to end up making some moves within the next 2 years where some of these guys will not be on the team anymore. Pitch is fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. Anthony Molina on the mound. Gino in the box and hard hit towards left field. And that one is missed again. And we'll take that. A nice RBI by Gino. Naylor scampers home. 6-0 Mariners. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with the run RBI and a K, Dominic Canzone, who's been absolutely magnificent since we moved him into the DH spot. And we'll see how he does, obviously playing right field here today. Let's go, Dom. Let's see if we get a Dom bomb. Baby. One-0 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Dominic Canzone. But I actually looked up the entire 2001 roster, with the starters and then the pitchers and the pen, and compared it, player for player to this team. Even though it was Ichiro's rookie year, and you had Edgar Martinez there, and Macklemore and Boone. I mean, we had some amazing players, but it doesn't come close. Yeah, they may have scored a lot of runs and won 116 games, and we might max out if we win the rest at 93. But there's no doubt about it. This team is better than that 2001 team. If you're looking at the depth that we have, starting pitching, bullpen, farm, bench guys, and starters, it's not even close. And there was some amazing players on that 2001 team, but this is a team in 2025, top to bottom. 3-1 pitch, low and at the knees, and we'll take a walk by Molina to Dominic Canzone. And again, this might be the first year where we actually make the playoffs and potentially win the AL West in multiple years in a row. From only having 4 good years in 40, we might be able to have 13 great years out of 20 moving forward. And again, if we're going to be that consistent and can make the playoffs, 13 years out of the next 20, there's a good chance that we'll make a World Series or 2, and hopefully we can win at least 1 or 2 and scratch that off the bucket list of being the only team that's never been to a World Series. But once you get there, you obviously want to win it. Getting there is not enough. Why not fucking go all the way, as Cal Raleigh said. Next up is Mitch Garver. And we got as good of a chance as anybody this year. We have the most talent out of any team in the American League, top to bottom roster-wise. We may not have the best record, but the team, based off talent, I feel we are the best. It's just about now getting hot and healthy at the right time and making sure Wu is ready to go. And I still got respect, for the Blue Jays and the Tigers and, Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, all the other teams, Guardians that are in the mix or slightly out of the mix, maybe Houston, but again, it's our year, it's our time. And again, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Cubs, the Dodgers, Padres are dangerous, but we like our chances. As Garver pops that one up, and that is out in foul territory. Mickey Moniak with the catch there, and that is 2 away. Next up is Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. First pitch, takes a strike looking on the corner, 4-seam fastball by Anthony Molina, 0-1 count. Molina on the mound, Leo Rivas in the box. Great story for Leo too. Imagine if Leo Rivas was on the team, at the beginning of the year, and they had him instead of Dylan Moore. Think about how many more wins we would have based on how bad Dylan was doing throughout the year. We might have hit 100 wins if Leo was on the team. At that point, he would have given us at least 5 to 10 extra wins if he was on the team during the regular season. There's no doubt about that. But again, at least better late than never, and they figured it out. And we'll see what we get here. 0-2 pitch from Molina. And that is strike 3. And we leave 2 stranded there as he dots him up. And let's go to the top of the 6th inning with a 6-0 lead. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 0 runs, 4 hits. And no errors there for the Rockies, even though they had a couple plays that could have potentially been an error at this point. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we already gained 15 to 20 subs. Let's see if we can gain 30 to 50. And last time I checked, we were at 22,205. Now we're at 22,211. We gained 6 more subs. Thank you so much. 89 to go to 22,300. Can we get an update on the likes on where we're at? And Victoria read my mind. 144. All right, we only need 56 to go to get to 200. We can do that. Let them know. And we did hit, 10,000 views in back-to-back streams with a lot of playoff implications on the line. And again, we should be able to continue to grow at a very high rate. So. Yeah, Cal's 0 for 2 and Julio's 0 for 3, but I think Julio just got replaced by Luke Raley, so I think your bet is not going to hit, Carter, unfortunately, because they're going to be playing a lot of these backups, and that's probably why they decided to lay out that bet, or maybe you projected that bet yourself. But it looks like Julio's day might be done now, based on what I'm just looking at. Based on the lineups and the changes, looks like they moved Raley to center, so I don't think Julio is going to be out there anymore. And then for Cal Raleigh, are they going to have him DH and they have Garber catching? So yeah, they're moving a lot of guys around now. So next up, 0 for 2 with a K, Hunter Goodman. And they still got Carlos Vargas there on the mound. Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Hunter Goodman. So they did get the ball back to Cal. That's good. So he wanted the kid to get it back to Cal. And again, they could have sold that ball for 50 to 100,000 and then ended up getting some autographed bats in return. Because that's a ball that Cal should have, home run number 60, because we don't know if he's going to hit anymore. We assume he's going to have a good chance to get to 61, 62, and hopefully beat Judge's record and get to 63. But if that's the last homer that he hits, hopefully it's not, you definitely want to own that piece of history. And good for them to be able to try to make that work out and happen. And obviously, as these home run balls continue to rise in value, you just got to make sure you get something, a decent return, based on, But again, if it's Mariner fans, they're not going to be greedy trying to get money. Again, they'll be very generous and trying to give Cal a piece of history, which he deserves. And then they'll take whatever they get in return. At that point. So the Mariner organization is all class, and again, you don't see that out of a lot of organizations that are out there. Their PR department and their marketing department is great. And a hit by Cram into the gap. Luke Raley is out there, not Julio. Hurry, Luke! Oh, Luke Raley slow out there looking like Randy Arozarena. Golly, come on, Luke. Kiki's Dragon with $1. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Stacks. Rex with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Another $1 on the dono train. Appreciate your support. $23 leg parlay. Wow. First pitch to Beck. 0-1 count, but I'm pretty sure, since Julio got replaced, he's not going to get a chance to hit. But obviously if it's for Julio and Cal, unfortunately, it looks like that will not be able to come to fruition for you. I'm sorry. 0-1 pitch fouled off there by Beck. No balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Beck. O2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a big punch out by Carlos Vargas, bringing that electricity for the Seattle Mariner bullpen. Beautiful. 2 away. Next up is shortstop Ezekiel Tovar. I read an original story about one of McGuire's, whether it's the record-breaking one. I'm not sure if it was 70 or something that was near that number, but I do know that one of the, requests, was to be able to meet Mark McGuire and get a selfie with him, like to get actually like a photo with him, and McGuire denied, and I don't think he got the ball. And that was the only request of the fan that got, one of those historic balls back in the day. All he wanted was to meet Mark McGuire, get a handshake, and, take a picture. And McGuire, I don't know if it was the steroids or what was going on, but, he wasn't willing to do that. And then he didn't get that particular ball. He might have ended up getting the ball later through someone else after it might have passed through a few hands and whatnot, and dollars were exchanged. But, you can definitely tell certain players are a little bit more likable than others. Like even with Mike Trout and getting his career 400 home run ball, played catch with the fan and gave him some autographed items, with some bats and whatnot. Big RBI there by Ezekiel Tovar into right field. And now it is 6-1 Mariners bringing home Blaine Krim. Krim scores, Tovar with that nice single. And now they're off the goose egg. Next up is center fielder Brenton Doyle. Come on, Vargas. The City Connect jersey? I mean, obviously all of the shirts, based on, making the playoffs and AL West champion shirts sold out immediately. But obviously, you can go to the MLB shop, through the Mariners, obviously, or if you, go to the game, obviously they'll have limited supply there. And that's a nice force out there. Down goes Doyle. And not after they got an RBI there by Ezekiel Tovar. We go from 6-0 to 6-1. Let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners in the bottom of the 6th inning. Leading off for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with 2 ribbies, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball with 60 home runs. It's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's see if we can get Cal to hit home run 61 here at this at-bat. And then batting third, filling in for Julio Rodriguez, will be Luke Raley. So I got to get the Luke Raley photo here. Give me a sec. And filling in for Julio will be Luke Raley. $40 likes at 200. Let's get there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we're looking for 30 to 50 subs. Let's go. 6-1 Mariners. We're potentially on the cusp of winning our 90th game. And again, if we sweep the Dodgers, we'll get to 93. If we win 2 out of 3, we'll get to 92. And that is amazing. Let's keep it going. First pitch to Randy, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch by Anthony Molina. Big swing and a miss on that curveball by Randy. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. (23-20) Hawks win. Cardinals with a little bit of a scare for the Hawk fans. and again, finding a way to get that dub. And again, if we can have a Seattle win on both sides, obviously that'll be good for the city and the vibes. 0-2 pitch is fouled off by Randy. High and away. 0-2 pitch. Low and away and into the dirt. Curveball off speed, 83 miles an hour by Molina. 6-1 Mariners in the bottom of the sixth with nobody on and no outs. Anthony Molina on the mound and Randy Arosarena in the box. Randy, hard hit into right field and a good day for Randy. We haven't seen Randy be this productive as a leadoff hitter in a minute. Nice job. And now we have the best catcher in the game at 60 home runs. Can we get a 2-run blast to make it 8-1 for the AL MVP in 2025? Either him or Aaron Judge, but we're hoping it's Cal. It's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. He's at 60 home runs. And again, he's got to try to hit one, obviously, today to put him in a great position to get a home run in 3 games against the Dodgers to tie Judge. And again, if he gets 3 home runs, he breaks Judge's record of 62. If he gets 2 home runs in the last 2 games, he'll tie. And if he gets 1, then he'll obviously be 1 back of Judge's record in 2022. And the main part is they did it clean. No steroids, no Balco, anything that Bonds and McGuire and Sosa did. It was amazing for the time, but it based off legacy. It definitely hurt the teams that those guys played on and their individual careers. So we have to be happy that we're in a generation now with guys like Schwarber on the Phillies, Cal Raleigh on the Mariners, Shohei Ohtani on the Dodgers, and Aaron Judge on the Yankees. We actually have 4 amazing athletes that are really showing out in 2025. And seeing Schwarber and Cal join Judge and Ohtani is pretty cool. We didn't really think it would ever happen that we would see people that would be on their level or beyond their level. And, we've seen it here this year in 2025. Pitch is high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 2-1 pitch. Crushes that one into left field. Foul. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Yeah, great job by the Hawks on getting that dub. Obviously they had a big lead, and then obviously momentum shifted to the Cardinals. But again, a win is a win, no matter if you win by 1, 2, or 3. 2-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss. He was going for the moonshot there and gets punched out by Molina. Down goes Cal, and he might have one more chance at a last at-bat unless they bring in Harry Ford to play, towards the end. And again, he'll have, about 12 to 15 chances in those last 3 games, 4 or 5 chances each game going against the Dodgers if he plays in those last 3. Next up is Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. His timing has been off all year. He's had the injury bug. Luke swings at the first pitch, going deep to center field, back to the dirt, but it is caught, and that is 2 away. It would have been nice to see Luke work the count there a little bit, but again, he hasn't been a very efficient hitter for us in 2025. Next up, a guy that we can trust, a guy that should be a part of the Mariner organization for the rest of his life. First baseman, big grumper, Nails, Josh Naylor. And again, I don't know if we've ever found a player that we've loved universally more than Josh Naylor. I mean, we've gotten guys in free agency. We've gotten guys at the deadline, Randy, Gino, and Naylor within the last 2 years, but no one has put up the numbers like Josh Naylor. Offensively, defensively, and swiping bags and not getting caught at his size. He is an all-around great player like Julio and Cal, and it's just something that we need at first base moving forward. We cannot afford to let this guy go anywhere else. Whatever he wants, give it to him. And he's already embraced the other teams, even in this short stint here with Seattle. Rocking Kraken gear and all of that. That's great to see. Naylor hits it into center field, but not in the gap, unfortunately, and that is out number 3. But whenever you see a guy embrace the city and embrace the culture, and it's not for views, he's not trying to show off. He's just trying to be able to show love and support, and for them to make custom, jerseys of that black glow-in-the-dark jersey the Kraken are going to wear this year, and they made custom ones for Naylor and Cal. And again, and to be able to really get excited, because how you see like reactions from players when they get gifted something, and sometimes it's kind of like a fake reaction where they act like, oh, this is cool, but they'll never wear it. Guys like Naylor, as soon as they see the gift, they put it on and smile, and you can tell it's like genuine love. And again, I couldn't think of a better player that we could build our future around, Julio and Cal, than Josh Naylor. All right, let's go to the top of the 7th inning, 6-1 Mariners. Next up, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, third baseman Kyle Karros. Eric Karros' son from the Dodgers from back in the day. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a K, catcher Braxton Fulford. And batting third, 2 for 2, having himself a good day here for the Rockies, second baseman Ryan Ritter. Trident's up, let's go M's. You know, and it's kind of nice to have someone like him, you know, super serious, you know, but can be, you know, kind of fun when he needs to be, but he's very focused and serious, you know, big sneakerhead, lots of custom Jordan cleats, you know, and is even willing to give away, you know, some of his memorabilia, which he gave away a pair of his cleats within the last few days to a little kid. You know, imagine being a little kid and getting fucking Naylor's cleats. Like, I don't even know if you can really understand what that means, you know, if you're a young kid. But as that kid gets older, and if we end up having Naylor for a long period of time, that'll be something that kid cherishes, and hopefully ends up getting one of those acrylic clear, you know, cases where he can display it in his bedroom. And being able to stare at, you know, something like that was an extreme gift with so much generosity from Josh Naylor. You don't see guys give away cleats very often. Top of the 7th inning, 6-1 Mariners. Caleb Ferguson entering the matchup. First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. And Carlos Vargas' day is done, and hopefully Caleb will end up being successful here, not having a meltdown. Oh, 1 pitch after the big swing and a miss. Another big swing and a miss, low and at the knees, no balls and 2 strikes from Caleb Ferguson to Kyle Karros. $25 to $200. Let him know, TJ. TJ's at the game and he's multitasking, trying to get us to our numbers. Appreciate you. And again, we have people like Victoria and a few others, you know, that are helping out with all day. And again, anyone that's in the room that's a regular, you know, again, we got 356 in the room. We were able to get back-to-back days of 10,000 views, back-to-back days of 400 likes. And again, it has to be more than just me, you know, mentioning it once in a while on the stream. You know, it'd be nice if we can get to a point in the future where I don't even have to mention it once, and then we can just rely on everyone in the chat to get the job done, besides me just focusing on the game. But again, you guys are doing a great job, and hopefully we get a few other individuals in the chat with some encouragement to the others in the room that haven't hit the like button, and we'll see if we can get a few more likes, a few more subs, a few more donos, and a Mariners win. 1-2 pitch from Ferguson. Little slow dribbler towards third. Gino's there, throw to first, and got him. And that is 1 away. Appreciate the team effort. You guys are the best. Next up for the Rockies, 1 for 2 with a K, catcher Braxton Fulford. $24 more likes to get there, and we've already gained, you know, like 20 to 30 subs, so we'll see if we can go to that next category. We're at 23 on the dono train, 77 to go to hit that goal. 1-0 pitch from Ferguson to Fulford. High and away with that sinker, 94 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes from Ferguson to Fulford. We're in the top of the 7th inning in firm control. We got a lot of the backups and a lot of you know, substitutions, letting some guys get a chance to play, you know, in this matchup. And as long as we don't have a major meltdown in the pen and we continue to keep hitting, you know, victory is ours within a few minutes. Two-0 pitch is fouled off. 2-1 pitch. And a beautiful strike there, painting the corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ferguson to Fulford. Let's go Ferg. Let's see if we get a punch out here. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. And count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Ferguson to Fulford. 187. Let's go. 13 more. And we've already gained 30 subs already. Let's see where we're at now. Gained a few more. 6 more after that. And now we only need 83 subs to get to 22,300. Gained 31 subs so far. See if we can get to 50. And that ends up turning into a walk there by Caleb Ferguson, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but it is him. Next up is second baseman Ryan Ritter, who is 2 for 2 today. Let's see if we get a slow dribbler up the middle to Cole Young, a throw to Naylor for a double play, and then we get out of this inning. Top of the 7th inning, 6-1 Mariners. And again, in a game where we could have definitely lost with Emerson Hancock on the mound with an ERA of above 5, he pitched magnificent with 7 Ks. And again, we've had Vargas, come in, and now obviously Caleb Ferguson, and Gino had that home run to kind of set the tempo. And Canzone grounded out in the fielder's choice. Naylor scored, right? Then we had Arosarena, with a big double that scored Garver and Rivas. And then Suarez singled to left and Naylor scoring. And then obviously Tovar singled to right and Krim scoring for the Rockies. But it's been all Mariners. 6 runs and 9 hits with no errors. And normally the magic number is 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And again, pitching has been absolutely fantastic considering who we had to work with. And we didn't have Brian Wu. Obviously, we're keeping him rested with that pec that just was a little sore from a few games ago. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferguson to Ritter. It's always possible. I mean, especially with the bullpen pitchers in now. And a little blooper there to Cole Young. Great awareness by Cole. And that is 2 away. I mean, anybody that is on the Rockies at this point, as long as they don't end up getting substituted out for someone else, will definitely have a chance to get, hits, singles, doubles, triples, home runs, especially if we're going deeper into our pen and we're not really using our quality guys. We're just kind of using the fill-in guys like Vargas and Ferguson. And then at some point, we may end up seeing like Munoz, to close out the game possibly. But I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see as the game progresses. First pitch from Ferguson to Mickey Moniak, the former Angel. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Come on, Caleb. 0-1 pitch, crushed, but right to Naylor, and that is out number 3. Great awareness by our defense, not only by Josh Naylor, but also by Cole Young. Great job. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see if we can add on to our lead. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, Cole Young. Batting second, 3 for 3 with a run and 3 RBIs. I told you when Gino gets hot, he'll get hot, and he'll get hot in a game where maybe some of the other guys are having a little bit of an off day like Julio and Cal. Nice to see Gino step up when we need him to. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a run, RBI, and a base on ball, who's been very efficient lately, Dominic Canzone. I mean, we made the baseball playoff 2 days ago, and we ended up winning the AL West yesterday based on some other, teams winning and losing. We have a bye. Obviously, if we won this game, we were going to get the bye anyway. So, we don't have to really worry about other teams failing for us to have success in the playoffs. But again, having a bye will be very critical, to rest guys And again, it's going to put us in a great position to be able to make this deep run. And again, ALDS, ALCS, World Series. We already won the AL West, so one box has already been checked off. Now we got 3 more to check off: ALDS, ALCS, and World Series. And we have as good of a chance as anybody, in the American League. Big facts. And we gained 3 more subs. 80 to go to 22,300. Congratulations to the Hawks for holding on late and getting that big dub. And again, they will be battling the Rams for the NFC West crown. And, one team will win it. The other team will get in with a wild card. And more than likely, as long as there's no serious injuries to the Rams and Hawk key players. And again, vibes are very high in the Pacific Northwest, regardless if you live in Oregon or Washington. Ducks are playing well. Huskies are playing well. Ducks go to Penn State. Huskies are hosting the Buckeyes, and the Huskies are going to have a chance. I mean, again, it's tough. It's Ohio State, but Oregon has had good success against Ohio State at home and on the road, and the Huskies got a great quarterback. They got a great running back, great wide receiver, great offensive line, great defense. They will have a chance this weekend. They have to strike early and often, obviously, and they got one of the best winning streaks at home. We'll see if the Huskies can pull off the miracle. And they already should be in the top 25. AP poll is a joke. 1-1 pitch, high and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. Too many injuries he has. You can't have Brock Purdy and George Kittle and CMC from time to time, and you just lost Bosa. I mean, you got Mac Jones at quarterback. That's not going to sustain over what the Rams and the Seahawks have based off talent. The Cardinals will more than likely finish last, but this could be the year the Niners finish third. I mean, unless there's going to be major injuries like the Niners on the Rams and Hawks, but I don't see the Niners winning at 0% chance. I mean, go look at the injury report on how many guys are injured for them already. And some guys are season ending already, like Bosa. That's not ideal. And they don't got Debo there anymore. At some point when teams are good, they're going to have to take a step back and rebuild. And the Niners were good for many, many years. Usually it's like about a 4 or 5 year run, and then you have to rebuild, no matter how good you are. Pitch fouled off. Count now is full to Cole Young from Peralta. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Peralta to Young. I just call it right down the middle. I just call it how I see it. I'm not even a Hawk fan myself, so I have nothing to gain whether the Hawks win or they lose, or the Niners win or lose, for me being a Buck fan. So I just call it right down the middle, based on what I see, and again, we'll see how it all plays out. Now, if the Niners didn't have any injuries, yeah, they would be in the mix, but that's not the case. 3-2 pitch, and Young fouls that one off. Count still is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. See if we can get Cole on base here late in the matchup. Popped up. And that goes behind the plate. Nice souvenir for those fans about in the 15th row. Bottom of the 7th inning, 6-1 Mariners. Peralta on the mound, Young in the box. I think with the A's, that's the only team in the division that I could actually root for to have some success. We have too much history with the Angels, with the fights. We don't like the Rangers and the Astros, so there's never rooting for them. And I think that, the Athletics are the most likable. And again, they have Rooker and, Kurtz and obviously Lawrence Butler and Langoliers. I mean, they're kind of a likable team, and again, it's one of those teams that's kind of at the bottom that you hope one day. And honestly, if it were to happen down the road where the Mariners win the division and then the Athletics end up getting second place over the Astros and Rangers and Angels, I would love that. That would be actually something that I would love as well. So, but again, they have a long ways to go, based off their manager, the move to their new location. Obviously, they have a pretty good starting lineup, but they, let Miller go, their closer, to the Padres. So they still got a long ways to go before that happens. But yeah, I'm definitely rooting for them to do that in the near future. That would be awesome. It would be good for baseball to see, somebody new, 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees to Gino. 2 balls and no strikes from Peralta to Suarez. And I actually kind of like some of the players that are on the team. It's not as heated as a rivalry, and they actually have a lot of talent over there. Popped up into right field, and that is 2 away. Like Kurtz is fun. Langoliers is a good player. Lawrence Butler and Brett Rooker are studs. Jacob Wilson is up and coming. So it's like half of their starting lineup is actually kind of badass. Like they're fun to watch. They're athletes, but again, it's the other guys that are like the fill-in guys at the end of the lineup that need improving. Pitchers, they need better ones, probably a better manager. And once they get into their new home, we'll see where they go. First pitch in there to Dominic Canzone. Takes a strike looking low and away. 0-1 count. Yeah, you can go Eagles if you want, but go back and look at the Bucs record against the Eagles in the last 3 years. And the Bucs actually own them, and we're at home. And we have Baker. So, again, obviously the Eagles, have found a way to win games, but they haven't been as clean as they have been in recent years. They're still, the Super Bowl champs from last year. We get that. But if you're looking at numbers, statistically, their numbers are a little bit down, but they still have enough talent with Jalen to win, many, many games. There's no doubt about that. But we'll find out. Both teams are 3-0. I like our chances. Now, if we were playing in Philadelphia, it would be a little bit harder, to win that game. No doubt about that. But since we're at home, and we have had, a pretty good record against them recently in the playoffs and the regular season. If there's one team that is the Eagles' kryptonite, it's us. So again, if you don't know the overall win-loss record, then it would be easy to go for Eagles. But we will find out if the Eagles end up being 4-0 and the Bucs go to 3-1, or if Tampa and Baker Mayfield can come up with another 2-minute drive in the fourth to win the game 4 weeks in a row. He is an MVP candidate this year, and I'm excited to see where we go. And we might play each other in the NFC Championship game this year. I know the Packers and Lions and a few other teams will say something about that. Double play and safe at first. But again, to be one of the best teams in the NFC is always exciting. And then obviously you got teams like the Rams, right? The Seahawks, obviously the Commanders, Lions, Packers, on top of the Eagles and Bucs that are going to be fantastic. Next up is Leo Rivas. Unfortunate there by Garver, but it is what it is. Runners now at first and third with 2 outs, 6-1 Mariners. Let's go, Leo. First pitch high and away to Rivas. 1-0 count. Come on, Leo. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Peralta to Rivas. And this is the first game in this series where the umping has been great. We haven't had any complaints with the umping today. I mean, it took to the third game. First 2 games were terrible, but today it's been pretty good. I haven't really had too many complaints for either team based on bad calls. 2-1 pitch. High and away. Good eye by Rivas, not taking that bait there on that outside pitch. He's so patient. Got great baseball IQ, Leo Rivas. 3 balls and 1 strike from Peralta to Rivas. Bottom of the 7th. Runners at first and third with 2 outs. Let's see if we can get an RBI by Rivas. Big swing and a miss. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Yeah, I still think the Rams are a better team than Seattle, as far as winning the division, just not having any bias. But again, based off injuries and schedule, things could, get a little bit closer and a little bit tighter as the year goes on. Pitch is low and away, and that's a walk. But obviously the Bucs are the best in the South. Eagles are best, obviously, in the East. Commanders will be second, right? It's Packers and Lions. Probably Lions are going to be better than the Packers if the Packers can't beat the fucking Browns. Even though they beat the Lions early in the year, Lions look like probably the better team overall, more consistent, better coaching. And then you got the Rams and Seahawks in the NFC West. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, there'll be a lot of jockeying for position, based off those teams. And then you got, Bills and, we'll see if the Ravens can recover. At some point, someone's going to go 1-3 between them and the Chiefs. So we'll see how that, plays out. Chargers look good. Obviously, Colts look good. Bills look good. And we'll see where the AFC ends up falling out. And, as we go into the NFL season. And we got bases loaded with 2 out, 6-1 Mariner lead. Peralta on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. And Randy's had a great day today. 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Let's see if Randy can get another RBI here or potentially a grand salami. Last time he did it was against Houston at the beginning of the year. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And hopefully we can have this type of consistency from him as a leadoff hitter against the Dodgers and as we go into the playoffs. And a big wild swing there by Randy. And that is strike 3. We leave 3 stranded, but we're up 5, so we're all right. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning, and we'll see who's up next here for the Rockies. And obviously, even though the Ravens and Chiefs have had some, kind of tough opponents, and, again, the Chiefs, have good coaching. And again, they just had a tough schedule, and the teams in the AFC West have gotten better. Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. It's no longer the Chiefs and everyone else. Everyone is caught up to them, right? And then obviously the Chargers look like the front runner to win that division this year. And then obviously if you look at the Ravens could essentially be undefeated, right? But again, their coach, Harbaugh, and their offensive coordinator are fucking terrible. Like, they are elite as far as recognition. Like, everyone loves Harbaugh. But if you actually look in key points in the game, nobody has blown more games late in the 3rd and 4th quarter in the AFC than John Harbaugh and his coaching staff. So again, obviously the meltdown against the Bills in week 1, and then obviously against the Lions, they weren't able to get the job done. And obviously it doesn't help when Derrick Henry's fumbling every fucking game on top of that. But the Ravens offensive line is bootios. And again, you can have all these amazing players, Lamar, King Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, all these amazing guys on offense. But if your offensive line stinks and you give up 7-8 sacks to the Lions, you're going to lose. And they did. And again, it shows you O-line, D-line, defense coaching, play calling is more important than these amazing players at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. All that does is put butts in the seats for the season ticket holders to get excited about Lamar. But if he has to run for his life because the offensive line is terrible, you're not going to represent the AFC this year. It'll be someone like Buffalo, more than likely with Josh Allen, even though their O-line and defense is a little suspect as well. Or it could be a surprise team, that we don't really know who it could be. I mean, I don't think we assume it could be the Colts or the Chargers, even though they've been great this year. But again, it feels like this is the year that the Bills, could play the Eagles. And in my case, I'm hoping it's Bills-Bucks. But we'll see where it goes. We still got a long ways to go in the NFL season. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning, 6-1 Mariners. But, I always watch about 3 or 4 full college games, 3 or 4 full NFL games, not including, Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night, to get a really good grasp of the league and how we are sitting. Next up is 0 for 3 with a K, DHing Hunter Goodman. And we got Brash in the game. Hopefully Matt doesn't fuck up here. First pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 0-1 count. Let's go, Matt. Brash had a meltdown when we were up 3-1, lost 4-3, and a hit that's fair towards that third base line. And let's see how slow Randy runs to the ball. Absolutely slow as a snail, and lobs it into the infield like he always does. And that is a stand-up double. I thought maybe this would be the first game that I wouldn't have to complain about Randy's laziness in left, even though we're up by 5 late. But it's almost on cue. We're going to get at least 1 or 2 balls hit in his area every game, and there it is. Next up is Blaine Krim. .231 average, 5 homers, 12 ribbies, a double in the 6th, and a run for Blaine Krim. First pitch to Krim, high and away, 1-0 count. Yeah, I mean, even though the Chiefs haven't looked very good, I like them overall better than what the Ravens have with that bad offensive line. So even though the Chiefs have had a hard schedule and haven't really looked great, you would assume that they'll be the biggest threat to the Bills. And obviously the Colts and the Chargers are playing absolutely great football early, and hopefully they'll continue to do that the rest of the year. It's nice to be able to see some new teams kind of break out. 2-0 pitch. Pitch is inside. 3 balls and no strikes to playing Krim. Well, we'll find out when the Chiefs and the Ravens play and who ends up winning that game, because the loser goes to 1-3. So, but it definitely is a great moment for Josh Allen and Buffalo to finally win the AFC, which I think a lot of us have been kind of rooting for low key for a while, regardless if you're an Allen or Bills fan or not. And Krim with the walk. Come on, Brash. Next up is left fielder Jordan Beck. And again, Brash having another meltdown here with runners at first and second with no outs. Come on, Matt. You used to be good. You used to be the number one guy. And then obviously Bizzardo took that spot from you. And lately you have been untrustworthy. And that's not ideal when it's one of the top 3 guys, with Bizzardo, Brash, and Spire. We need those guys to be good. We don't want you to be a liability. Where Brash is in the same category as like Carlos Vargas or Caleb Ferguson. That would not be ideal. And a little slow dribbler here, double play attempt, and only a force out at second. But at least we get the 1 out, 1 away. Good job by Leo. Yeah, and it's all about trust, right? Just like in people, trust and consistency. And you can have these amazing numbers where your ERA is under 2 and you have so many more strikeouts, to walks. But again, it's all about how have you been playing lately, not your stats throughout the whole year. You can have amazing stats for the whole year, but in the last 4, appearances, if you're dog shit and you're blowing games, there's no trust. We don't care, how popular you are. We need to be able to have guys that we trust out there. And unfortunately, I don't trust Matt Brash at this moment. And again, hopefully that'll change as we go to the playoffs, because we're going to need him. First pitch to Tovar, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. But I would agree with Victoria. Even though I don't really trust Gabe either, I trust him more than I trust Brash at this moment. Brash right now is right next to like Vargas, where I feel like if they have to get 1 out, then maybe they can do it. But if they have to start an inning and get 3, that might not happen. You might end up giving up some runs there. 0-2 pitch. Big lazy swing there by Tovar, and that's the Brash that we like, and that's a punch out. That is 2 away. Nice job by Matt Brash, finally getting a punch out. Next up is center fielder Brenton Doyle. Can we get an update on the likes and where we're at? Did we end up accomplishing 200 above and beyond? Monkey Kung Fu with a 10er. Appreciate that. And I appreciate the trust. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. And I will always be that reliable, trustworthy guy representing the Seattle Mariners for y'all. Appreciate you. Another 10er on the Dono train. No one will ever be able to question the work ethic here. 224, awesome. Let's see if we can get to 250 before the game ends. We got 350 in the room. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brash to Doyle. Pitch is low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Doyle. Yeah, Woo's not pitching against the Dodgers. We already have it set up for Kirby, Gilbert, and Miller. Those are the 3 starters for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, and some of the matchups are going to be really spicy too. based on who the Dodgers are going to have pitch. And that's a big swing and a miss. Nice job by Brash. And again, we haven't seen Brash get a couple punch outs in a minute. There we go, Matt. I still don't really trust you, but again, you're starting to earn back the trust by every batter you get out. Nice job, Matt. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning and see if we can get some history to be made. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a base on ball and a K. Let's get home run number 61 right here. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 1, right fielder or center fielder in this case for Julio Rodriguez, Luke Raley. And batting third, coming in for, I believe, Josh Naylor for one last at-bat, Victor Robles. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 6-1 Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th. 67 to go to hit our Dono goal. Let's get it, baby. And we've gained 31 subs. Let's see how many more we've gained. Gained 2 more. 73. And now we only need 78 subs to go to 22,300. And we just hit 22,000 a couple days ago. So we're definitely going in the right direction. And the better that the Mariners do, the better the channel is going to do. You know, I'm your full-time source for every game for the Seattle Mariners, which not very many people on any team typically do. There's only maybe about 4 or 5 of us on YouTube that cover different teams that do almost every game. And again, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. And we've had back-to-back 400 like streams, back-to-back 10,000 views on back-to-back streams. And again, the deeper the Mariners go, the better results we're going to get in all of our categories. Bottom of the 8th, 6-1 Mariners with the potential MVP Cal Raleigh now in the box with Agnos on the mound. The MVP chants are circling in T-Mobile. First pitch, Cal crushes it into right field, foul. Trident's up, seize the moment. Let's go big dumper. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Agnos to big dumper. Let's go, Cal. 60 home runs on the year. MVP chance in T-Mobile. Everyone standing in the whole stadium for the most part. 1-1 pitch. Cal pops it up, and looks like we're not going to get home run number 61 tonight. We'll have to wait in the Dodger series for him to do it there. But I think there is a good chance for him to hit 2 home runs in 3 games, and he might hit 2 in 1 game against Los Angeles. So I still think there's a chance for him to get to 62 to tie Judge or 63 to break the record, but it won't be tonight. Next up is Luke Raley. Luke's timing has been off all year. He's been battling injuries. And again, he's probably the last Mariner hitter of the year that hasn't really gotten going. You know, everyone else that has been a liability has either been traded, cut, or is on AAA. So at this point, I would rather have Ben Williamson on the squad than Luke Raley personally. I think that would be a better fit for us. You know, but again, Luke can play multiple positions. You know, he can play first, he can play center, he can play right, but he can't really play those positions well. So just because you're a a multi-dimensional player like Dylan Moore was, that doesn't mean that you're good. That just means that you can be out there, you know, and you're a liability in the box and defensively, Dylan Moore was. And I kind of feel Luke Raley is the same. Do I like Luke and his hustle? Yeah, I do. But again, he doesn't deserve to be on the team, in my opinion, right now. I think Ben Williamson would be much better as a backup third baseman and even a guy to have DH or fill in, you know, when we're blowing out teams, and to get him some more experience, because he'll be the third baseman more than likely next year once Gino doesn't get re-signed and we sign Naylor instead. So, but again, that's my opinion. If you guys love Naylor, that's totally up to you. But I just think that Williamson would give us more at this point late in the year. 3-1 pitch, and that is a walk. Flying Monk with a 5-er. Stacks. Rex with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. And I'll see if I can get that in between the commercial breaks for you. Another $5 holla on the Dono train. What brand makes it? Do I just look up Seattle Mariner wine and I'll find it? Like, what would be the keywords that I would type in, find it on Google? Just like Seattle Mariner wine 2025, and then I would be able to find it that way. First pitch in there to Victor Robles, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Victor Robles. I was watching MLB Network, Yaz, and they were saying that home field advantage isn't as big in the MLB playoff. A lot of road teams have a lot of success so far within the last 2 years, based off the format. So we'll see. But again, there's no denying the fact that the Mariners have one of the biggest advantages at home. I would say us and Philadelphia are probably the 2 best at home as far as, home field advantage. The crowds are going to be rocking. Not to say that the Dodger crowd won't be good. Yeah, they'll be good as well. But I feel Mariners and Phillies have the biggest crowd advantage this year. 1-2 pitch, and Robles strikes out swinging, and that is 2 away. Seattle Mariner wine. Okay, I got you. And next up is Cole Young. Seattle Mariner Gold Reserve etched wine bottle. Manos wine. I tried pulling up the photo, but it wouldn't let me. But the etched bottle looks amazing. Yeah, I see it. I tried pulling it up. It won't let me, though. I'll have to look to see if I can find another option, but the photo wouldn't let me format it. But I'll hopefully be able to look again once we go to a commercial break. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. Bottom of the 8th, 6-1, Mariner lead. Two-one pitch, and that one is fouled off by Young. I would believe that Castillo, Garver, and Eugenio Suarez will not be on the team next year. But again, we already have Cade Anderson, our first-round draft pick from LSU, to take Castillo's spot. We can get Williamson at third and find another farm guy or another guy, obviously, in free agency if we need, to get someone to replace that spot. And, there'll be a few guys that will be able to move up, like Harry Ford, to be the backup catcher. But again, we're going to use these guys while they're on our team, and within the next year or two, some of those guys that I mentioned will not be on the team anymore, more than likely. All right, so when I typed in the Seattle Mariner, it only came up with 1 image, but let me see if I can. And then it has other teams, with the wine as well, that they show Yankees and Mets and whatnot. But when I type it in, Seattle Mariner wine, it won't let me. It only comes up with 1 image, and it won't let me format it. So unfortunately, I can't put it up on the stream unless you can find an image. And then if you can find an image that works, and then you can send it to me, and then through like Instagram or X, and then I can go that way. But I typed in Seattle Mariner wine, Seattle Mariner wine. I see the etched bottle. It's very cool. It's obviously gold on the top, and the etching is gold with the Mariner logo, but it unfortunately will not let me format it. So, well, Castillo's not even our ace anymore. He's our 5. So obviously Brian Wu at the top, And then you got George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. You can move those guys in any position. If you want Gilbert to be the one, or you want Wu to be the one. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, but you can go Wu 1, Kirby 2, Gilbert 3, Miller 4, and then it'll be Cade Anderson 5 when he's ready, and that'll give us a lefty in the lineup. And honestly, Castillo's numbers, if you actually look at him from when we got him in 2022, he was a big reason that we made the playoffs that year. But statistically and analytically, his numbers have been going down dramatically the last few years. Now, has he been able to have some pretty good starts in 2025? Yes, but he's also had some bad ones too. And right now, he's probably the 5th. Unless you put him at 4 and Bryce Miller at 5, which I could see as well. But at this point, Luis Castillo is not the 1 anymore, or the 2, or the 3. At the highest, he's the 4, and then Miller's the 5, or vice versa. And then at some point, we're going to have Wu, Gilbert, Kirby, Durangelo, who can pitch left and right in the farm, and Cade Anderson. And then Miller might be the odd guy on the outside looking in, like Emerson Hancock or Logan Evans, which we also have those 3 guys. So at some point, we're going to be like, 6, 7, 8 deep, and we'll just have to decide who our best guys are. As we have Casey Legomina in the game here in the top of the 9th. 2-0 pitch to Karros, high and inside, 3 balls and no strikes. And again, I'm not really sure if I like the idea of having Legomina in the game right now, but hopefully this will not turn into a meltdown. And that's a 4-pitch walk. And there's a reason why we sent you to AAA, because you're not good. Come on, Casey. You're not even good enough to show in a Mariner uniform. I'm going to have to show you like in the minor league system. Come on, Legomina. Next up is Fulford. And that's 5 straight balls for Casey Legomina. Get his ass out of there. Jesus Christ. High and away. 1-0 count. Braxton Fulford in the box. Casey Legomina on the mound. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking. High and away, which was on the line. Easily could have been called ball. 5 balls and 1 strike for Legomina here in the 9th. Not ideal. I know we're up 5, but I want to finish strong. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Braxton Fulford from Casey Legomina. I mean, obviously they're going to be resting, Bizardo and Munoz here at the end. Obviously having Mooney come in or Bizardo would have been better, at this point. Even Spire would be better to close out a game than this, but they're saving those guys for obviously the Dodger series and obviously their arms for the postseason. But averaging about 7 runs a game in recent memory here, giving up less than 3. And anytime you can go like 16-1 and 17-1 in the last like 18 games, you know that you're one of the hottest teams in baseball and life is good. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and we get lucky there. Down goes Fulford, and that is 1 away. Come on, Casey, keep it moving. Next up, second baseman Ryan Ritter. First pitch, big swing and a miss. On that 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, 0-1 count. You're all over it, Flying Monk. I'm usually very quick, with everything that goes on, but depending on how many people we have in the room, and how active the chat is, sometimes it's a little bit harder to be able to go through all those things, but 0-1 pitch in play, and Robles is there. And now we have runners at first and second with one out. Come on, Mariners, finish strong. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously common sense, on any stream, and whatnot. We keep it sport related and whatnot. We obviously sports is a great thing that brings us all together, regardless of male, female, our age, our religion or race. Sports is a great thing, but obviously politics or anything to do, with that type of realm of talk, obviously is not allowed here. There'll definitely be other spaces for people to have their opinions, but just not here. Yanquiel Fernandez in the box. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Pitches high and away with the changeup, 87 miles an hour by Casey Legomena. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yanquiel Fernandez. 1-1 pitch, inside, 2 balls and 1 strike from Legomena to Fernandez. Top of the 9th, runners at first and second with 1 out, 6-1 Mariner lead. We've already clinched a bye, and we're going to hopefully try to sweep the Dodgers, which will be tough. But shooting for 2 out of 3, but based on, going 16-1, 17-1 in the last 18 games, why not, try to sweep them? And obviously that'll be easier said than done, but, we do have a very strong, obviously, home record, the best in MLB, obviously in the second half of the season. 2-2 pitch, and down he goes. Down goes Fernandez. Nice job, and that is 2 away. Yeah, I mean, I'm been doing this for quite a long time, 13 years. This is my 9th year on YouTube, but it's only natural when the teams are doing better, and they make the playoffs, and they win the AL West for the first time in 24 years. Yeah, you're going to get a spike in viewership, just like in anybody that is streaming on a team that is having success, and that is going to get waved home. And Legomena giving up another run here late, 6-2 Mariners. But again, we had back-to-back 10,000, viewed streams in the last 2 days. And as the further the Mariners go, I assume that the, views and the subs and the likes and the donos will increase as well. Jack with a $5, appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Every dollar counts. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Another $5 holla on the dono train. Thank you so much for your generosity. Every dollar counts, towards the internet bill, the streaming fee, and just taking care of my pup on a day in and day out basis. Appreciate you. Yeah. Sour, I went through the lineup and looked to see what it looked like, and that is out number 3, Victor Robles in center field, and we've done it, baby. That's our 90th win. 17 out of the last 18. Is that good? I would say so. Nobody wants to face the Mariners, baby. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Colorado Rockies 2. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. 17 out of the last 18 games. We're 17-1. You couldn't ask for more of a just, unbelievable finish, and again, there was points in the season when we were on the road with all those fucking rain delays, against Baltimore and, against the Mets and, having those, tough times. But really what gave us the springboard confidence was winning those last 2 games in Atlanta before we went on our home streak, right? We ended up scoring 28 runs in 2 games, 31 hits, 10 home runs. Julio had a game where he had 2 home runs and was just going wild, like 4 for 5. And if you remember, that was really the, leapfrog moment where we kind of took off. and we haven't looked back since. And again, that's win number 90 and 69, and we are going to have a chance to win 93 games if we can sweep the Dodgers, and if we win 2 out of 3, 92. And AL divisional winner, Blue Jays are at 91, Guardians are 86 in the Central, and we clinched the West with 90 wins. So based on the Blue Jays, they're only beating us by 1 game. If the Blue Jays go on a skid, the Mariners could end up being the number 1 seed if we win the last 3 games and the Blue Jays drop a few here late, which could happen. You never know. So, but at the very least, we're going to be a 2 seed, and having a bye feels very, very good. Shout out to Just Another Phil, Jay Mills, Megan, Kiki's Dragon, Monkey Kung Fu, Flying Monk, and Jack. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Man, it's been an incredible season. And again, we'll be live tomorrow on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Will I be watching the Huskies and the Buckeyes go at it? Absolutely. Will I be watching the Ducks and Penn State go at it? Absolutely. But what are we going to be doing on the stream? Seattle Mariners. We're going to do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you don't have to worry about me, doing college football, even though those things are very important to me. The reason why we're in the position on the channel here today is because of the Seattle Mariners. And we're going to make sure we stay true to them, the whole route, all the way to the World Series. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the people that helped out with the likes. I appreciate you guys, all the people that helped out with the subs, the donos, and the shares. Let's take a quick peek to see how many more subs that we gained. 30 plus here, and we gained a couple more, and now we only need 76 to be able to get to 22,300, where we just hit 22,000 a couple days ago. So to be able to gain 200-300 subs in a few days is huge. We had back-to-back days of 10,000 people with 400 plus likes in back-to-back days. I haven't seen the numbers. I assume they'll be slightly lower today, but that's all right. And again, we're finding ways to win. We didn't really bring in our best guys in the pen late because we're saving them for the Dodgers. And at the end of the day, we're seeing guys get hot when we needed them the most, like Gino. And final score, Mariners 6, Rockies 2. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday night. I got to eat dinner, go on another victory walk with my pup, and then we'll be live tomorrow. Let's look at the schedule here before I leave. So we'll be live tomorrow, and tomorrow's game will be at 6:40 Pacific. So same time, same place. And it's going to be Emmett Sheehan, who has been pretty good for them, 6-3 with a 2.86 ERA versus George Kirby. So we're going to be going Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller. And I like our chances in all 3 of those games, even Miller. And, Miller and Castillo have been suspect at times, but lately they've actually been stepping up and they've been pitching closer to Lou, Gilbert, and Kirby's level, which is absolutely what we need. So, and I assume that we're going to see more of Mooney and Bizzardo as well to help us try to win these games. So I hope everyone is obviously excited. We made the playoffs 2 days ago. We won the AL West yesterday. We gained a bye today as one of the top 2 spots. And if we finish strong and sweep the Dodgers, we could be the number 1 seed. It's possible. We're only down to the Blue Jays by a game. They only have 1 more win than us. So we're at 90. They're at 91. So we'll see where it goes. But love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Seattle Mariners. You know what it is. Final score, Seattle Mariners 6, Colorado Rockies 2. And it feels good to be a Mariner fan. Tridents up, seize the moment, go Mariners.